Good morning all. Today I'd like to introduce to you the Bernard Wilson built Wilson Voyager. Magnificent 57-foot timber boat built in 1999. So let's take a walk through and take a look at this vessel. This is a typical Bernard Wilson entry. As we go past, you'll see that the boat is in amazing condition. This vessel was splined right from the word go, from the day it was built, splined under the water and above. That makes it a very, very tight and dry vessel. 57 foot, it's a full 18-foot 6 beam and draws 6 feet. Totally laden, it comes in at 60 tonne, and this was probably one of the last cray boats that Bernard Wilson ever built. It's been under restoration for the past 3 years, and it is truly a magnificent boat. You'll see here at the transom, this is typical of what happens with Tasmanian cray boats. The boat lets the water go. It's a true displacement hull. It's Bernard Wilson to the core. Stepping on board, you'll see that it's very easy entry with a bulwark door. Also, there's a full day bed here. And wide walk around side decks. I'd like to take a minute or two just to talk about Bernard Wilson. Bernard Wilson is considered to be second only to God down in Tasmania, and I was very lucky enough to meet up with him and build a Bernard Wilson hull in 2010. It's a vessel known as Stormboy 2. I've since sold that vessel, unfortunately, and it's now down in Kettering, Tasmania. Bernard Wilson, to me, is one of the better cray boat designers in Tasmania, and I can attest to that because I owned my boat for 7 years and took it in very rough water. I've been lucky enough to travel on this boat for a while too, and this has got all the characteristics of a Bernard Wilson design, only in a much bigger vessel. The vessel I had weighed 17 tonne. This one is 60 tonne fully laden. So this is a let's go around the bottom New Zealand boat. This is a Cape Horn boat. And let's just take a bit of a walk around the decks now and I'll show you a bit more about this boat. Wide walk around side decks going forward. Massive hydraulic anchor winches you expect on a vessel like this. 150 metres of 16mm chain on a hydraulic anchor winch. This is what you need on a vessel of this size. Once again, the high bulwarks are carried all the way. Big mooring bits, big anchoring gear, massive freezer on the foredeck, plenty of room for a tender, and of course all of this is under shade. You can see here we've got a massive hydraulic crane, Australian made, hydraulic, all being pulled to pieces and rebuilt. Lovely boat to be on. Boarding ladder here. This vessel was built to survey originally, and not in survey now, but it's still got all the survey characteristics. We come down the forward stairs, which is known as a scuttle on a cray boat. We enter into the forward head department, which is large and clean, fiberglass and painted in 2-pack. The toilet is new, Tecmar, clean, easy area to keep clean and wipe out. Also down in the forward compartment we have washing machine and dryer, lots of storage. Moving further aft into the downstairs saloon, we have a refrigerator down here, large television, lots of storage, again beautiful Queensland maple fit out. There are 2 sleeping cabins down here and a lovely day bed, comfortable couch all done in leather. This is a beautiful cool area. Remember, all of this is air conditioned, both sleeping cabins, as well as the galley aft. Opening ports. Now we're entering the second of the sleeping cabins, very spacious, fitted out just like the first one, once again air conditioned. Opening ports, large queen size bed. This area was all carpeted, cool and dry. Now, as we exit this forward sleeping cabin area and saloon, we'll see you in the wheelhouse. Stepping into the wheelhouse, we have port and starboard doors, which is a nice way to be. As you can see, this is a large wheelhouse, as you expect on a 57-foot vessel. Everything that you're seeing in front of you now has been upgraded. The vessel has been completely rewired. also completely replumbed. The hydraulic steering has been built from new, again, all the way to the finish. It's Cobalt hydraulics, and that's also the case for the bow thruster. That's a Cobalt hydraulic bow thruster. Simrad autopilot, Simrad plotters, plus a third plotter, plus a radar, everything upgraded. Very comfortable wheelhouse. As with most of these vessels, there's a large captain's day berth in the wheelhouse, which is good for watch keeping. These seats I'm sitting on are extremely comfortable. There's two large ones and one smaller one. And what happens now is we exit here and we go down into the aft saloon cum galley, which we'll talk about next. Down aft we have another head area. The toilet area is separate from the shower. Once again, check our toilet all plumbed in. Ideal place to have a toilet on a seaboat. Down here we have a custom galley table, very comfortable area. This is an ideal place on the off watch because you're down towards the rear of the vessel, you're down low, easy to do coffee down here once you're underway. We have a gas stove there along with refrigeration, lovely place to be. Once again, very cool, massive deck beams, lovely hand-built vessel. Coming into the engine room space, we have a DS9 Scania, 9 litre. Engine room is spotlessly clean as you would expect on a vessel like this. We've got the bilge pumping there, the hydraulics. Over to the left we have plenty of bench space and a working vice. Now over to starboard we have a recently fitted 14 kVA CWASP generator in a sound shield. That's done less than 10 hours. As you can see, the exhaust has all been updated. Heat exchangers have been cleaned through, serviced professionally. A very, very nice engine room, as you would expect. I'd like to take a minute or two just to talk about the Wilson Voyager and its shape. Now, if you take the time to look at the Voyager from any angle, you'll see that it's attractive from all points of the compass. Now, this just doesn't happen by accident. That only comes from a lifetime of creating a vessel that not only works, but it also comes from having a creative eye. It also comes from a lifetime of spent at sea and building many, many different proportional vessels. Bernard Wilson is a master of creating sea-kindly vessels and a hull that is kind to itself in the rough stuff. It therefore goes without saying that the motion is also kind to the crew. Now, the scantlings on Wilson Voyager are beyond comparison. There is a recent out-of-water survey by Barry Colson, and that will attest to that. As a matter of fact, Barry Colson marked this boat as excellent in its condition, and that is only the second one that he's done in over 5,500 surveys. Now, I'd like to talk briefly about the aft wheelhouse boats, which for some reason are becoming unknown today. That's a bit hard to understand because to my way of thinking, they are the most comfortable way to travel. My own boat and many that I've built and owned have been aft wheelhouse vessels. As a matter of fact, I won't own anything but. By not having a lot of boat out of the water and above the deck line, we get a boat that has better self-righting moment and a higher degree of stability. The design and the concept have come from the necessity of having to work in the waters of Bass Strait and Tasmania and in Southern Ocean in foul weather. Now, we often hear people talk about good seaboats. A good seaboat starts with a good hull, and as far as a good seaboat goes, they don't come any better than a Tassie crayboat. Now, Wilson Voyager is proportionately correct with balanced lines and a beautiful and graceful shear line. It is both masculine and beautiful. It is magnificently and professionally converted to a long-range ballasted offshore motor crossing vessel. To my mind, it's one of Australia's best crayboat conversion. It also needs to be noted that this particular vessel has never really worked as a crayboat, and it's not a tired, flogged-out old workhorse that is in need of a rebuild. It has been in private hands most of its life, so this conversion starts from a high baseline. My own boat, I'll show you here, is also a walk around and shade, long range ballasted ocean going motorboat. This boat is a Bernard Wilson hull that I launched in 2010. It's now in Kettering. It's the best boat I've ever owned in my life, thanks to Bernard Wilson and his design features. Now, if I didn't own the boat that I've got at the moment, I can tell you now, the Voyager, the Wilson Voyager, would be mine. Thank you for your attention today, and if you have any interest in this vessel, please phone on the number below. Thank you.